Plates ready? This is Food School, Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Want to feel amazing, love the way you look in the mirror, and perform your absolute best in the gym, at work, and in life? You're definitely in the right place. Food, it's you. It builds every single cell of you. And if there is one thing every human being must master, it's food. Because at the very least, eating, you do it every day, several times a day, every single day. You might as well get good at it. I'm your host, Shurina from Create Yourself That Today, your personal nutritionist and plate watcher, your diet guide and explorer, your fat loss coach and food inspector. And just someone with a lot of passion and obsession and curiosity for healthy food, healthy diets, nutrition, optimized human performance, everything and absolutely anything you put in your grocery shopping cart, your fridge, on your plate, and in your mouth. It's my business. Food School, on a mission to help you eat better daily.
It's the last time I talk about food. It's the last time I talk about food.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner and our Food School 2019 Marathon. Everything and anything you need and want to know to have the healthiest, the fittest, the most impactful year yet. Yesterday, we talked about internal environment and how to build internal environment for yourself that supports your goals, that supports your new identity, that supports the life that you want to live. The day before, we talked about external environment and how to surround yourself with the things and people and anything in your environment that also supports your goals and your best life. And today we will talk about particular mindsets, or 3 particular mindsets that prevent all of us from reaching our goals, from reaching our destinations, from improving and growing. And as Tony Robbins likes to say, in life we are either growing or dying. So what are those mindsets that sometimes we fall into that prevent us from growing, from getting better, from improving and changing our life in the way that we want it to change? So first, all or nothing mindset, black or white, meaning you're either a winner or a loser, or a failure or a successful person. This is a type of fixed mindset that we adopt sometimes, and it really screws up the potential growth that we have daily. So we think that we either want to be on the healthiest, most advanced diet, or we just eating whatever, whenever, and we eating junk. And basically that's also the basis for a lot of yo-yo dieting or yo-yo training, or just kind of swinging between your worst and your best, never really moving forward and never really making any kind of quality advancements, just swinging back and forth. All or nothing thinking is really dangerous, and I've been in that place. And sometimes in some areas of my life, like my business, but even my healthy lifestyle, sometimes my mind will go there. Like, example, I either gonna eat this whole bag of cookies, or I'm gonna eat no cookies at all. I'm either gonna stick with this keto diet and never eat fruit or more than 50 carbs a day, or I'll just eat junk today or on Christmas or New Year or whatever and stuff myself into sickness. And you probably recognize this kind of thinking. You've probably done it not once, not twice in some area of your life. Doesn't have to be nutrition, doesn't have to be training, doesn't have to be anything related to health. Really might be your work, might be your studies, might be your relationships. It's just all or nothing. We either have it perfect or we have nothing. And that really stops us from making progress very often, because a lot of times progress is not this fancy thing when one day you're nothing and the next day you're a millionaire. $1 million success usually takes 10 years of consistent work, and those small tiny changes that a lot of times only you can notice. So when it comes to healthy eating, healthy living, for example, that means that you don't have to stop eating all the sweets and everything altogether 100%, even though maybe, I want you to do so, because I'm in the place where it just, my thing that I'm just that 100% in that regard. But in a lot of other areas, like my business, for example, I'm nowhere near 100% because I'm still learning a lot of things. I'm still gradually improving. So, and I do not recommend you, if, for example, you're working on your nutrition and you're having still a lot of, problems with sticking a little bit better diet, and maybe you do too that yo-yo or, all or nothing thing sometimes, but you don't have to. You don't have to say, I'm not going to have a cookie any day or on any day of my life anymore, or I'm not going to have whatever it is, you think. Just do a little bit better. And the technique to prevent this mindset, all or nothing mindset, black or white mindset, failure or loser, is a little bit better. So if you decided to work on your, let's say, nutrition, right? And you understand that, let's say, you need to eat less sugar. So don't say, I'm not going to eat sugar ever again. But let's say you were putting 4 spoons of sugar in your tea every day, right? So maybe for this week, you're going to put only 2. And maybe for the week after that, you're going to put only 1. And maybe the week after that, you're going to just have it every other day. And every other day, you're just going to enjoy the taste of your tea or coffee without sugar and experience what that's like. So a little bit better is the technique to grow in any area of your life consistently, really, whatever that is, nutrition or fitness or business or relationship, a little bit better, just a little bit better. Anyone can do a little bit better. And then track that progress. So as soon as you did a little bit better, don't go backwards. Then try to see and design and schedule the next step. So what is a little bit better from this point, and what is the next step? And then after a few days, after a few weeks, after a few months, years, you'll notice how much you've grown. And you probably never would have grown that much if you just stayed in that all or nothing mentality. Because again, for us humans, it's really hard to jump from 0 to hero. It's usually million steps in between. And that's how most people who achieve anything worth mentioning and worth talking about in their lives, be that, a millionaire that you admire, maybe some athlete, maybe someone else, I don't know. But that's how people usually achieve progress. And most importantly, that's how usually we people keep our progress, because when we jump from 0 to hero, the progress, it's really a lot of time, it's hard to keep. That's why people who win lottery and going again from 0 to millionaires almost never keep their money, because they just never learned in the process how to work with money, how to keep them, how to save them, how to multiply that. And also, like when it comes to nutrition, if you never learn how to maintain healthy eating in every situation and being a little bit better, not perfect in every situation again, then you probably will just jump from a bag of cookies to another 100% diet all of the time and never really stick with the result that you get. So all or nothing mentality that prevents us in many areas of our lives from really growing, and what's most important, keeping the results, because we don't want to just reach the goal and then go back. We want to keep it, right? So a little bit better is the antidote to all or nothing mentality. or mindset. The next mindset is I'm broken. And that is another variation of fixed mindset. So basically it means that if you failed to succeed in changing some area of your life, like for example, if you haven't succeeded yet in building businesses and it seems like you just failing every time you start anything, and you think that, well, there's probably something wrong with me and I'm just the person who's incapable of building successful business. But it just might mean that you haven't learned what you needed to learn in order to build that business. Or maybe you didn't have the right idea, or maybe the circumstances were not exactly perfect, or you just didn't take the right steps in the right order, but you probably learned a bunch, right? So it's not that you're broken. It's not that you're incapable. It's just you need to learn more. You need to work on something, and you need to move forward one step at a time. So find that next level. Find the people who reached that level. Learn from them and keep learning, keep changing what you're doing, and you'll get there. Just remember that nobody is broken, nobody is a failure. You can do pretty much anything in life, but again, you cannot jump from zero to hero, and you cannot just fix yourself overnight. You can only grow into that person that you want to be. You can only grow into that healthy and fit person. And even though you might have failed, getting into that ideal weight or ideal health and staying there, it doesn't mean you're incapable. It just means what you tried before didn't work for you before. So instead of saying, oh, I'm broken, I cannot do that, I'm not capable, try to see another approach. Ask people who have what you want to have. Try new things, because the principle of insanity is trying the same thing and expecting different results. So you're not broken. Again, you can do anything, but probably you cannot go from zero to hero. And most probably you need to change something in what you're doing and try a new approach, and you'll get there eventually if you just keep trying, keep changing your approach, taking new steps, tracking your results, tracking what's working and what's not working, and knowing really well and seeing clearly where exactly you want to go. So again, unbroken mindset, fixed mindset, it can prevent you from reaching what you really want. So again, you can do anything, remember that, but you need to be consistent, you need to work on it, you need to keep changing your approach, learning and all of that. It's not simple, but it can be done. Third one, what I like to call leaping frog mentality. It's a kind of fixed mindset, and that's what we've also been talking about in some form or the other. Leaping frog mentality, meaning again, that you gotta be either nobody or a hero, that you don't see the journey in between. Simon Sinek likes to bring that example about millennials, how a lot of times we see, and a lot of people, it's not just millennials, we see the bottom of the mountain where we imagine ourselves, basically the beginning of our journey. Then we see the top of the mountain where we want to be. But then we somehow forget that there is a mountain in between. And before we reach anywhere near the top, we will have to take that first step, and then the next step, and at some point we will have to be somewhere in the middle of the mountain where it seems like we have a huge journey ahead, and then also we have all this huge weight or work that we've already done that seemingly haven't brought us yet the result that we want. But, it's because it's the middle. But in life, it's a little bit more complicated. You don't really see that top all that clear, and nothing is guaranteed that you'll ever even reach that top. You might stop like 100 meters from that top and you'll never reach it, and you think it's impossible or it's not there, but it's there. You just haven't walked long enough. So this whole story is about, not seeing the journey and not understanding that when you're in the middle of that journey, a lot of times it's hard to see if you haven't been tracking what you've done, where you've been, and how much you've grown. And sometimes it's hard to see that, there is still quite, some quite a few steps to take before you reach that destination, before you have a chance to reach that destination. And you cannot jump from one point where you are to that point where you want to be. There is a whole journey. So it's not like a frog leaping from one position to the next one. It's more like a turtle making little small steps, little small improvements every single day. And then you have the possibility, the chance to reach that destination, to reach the top of the mountain. But again, it's not going to happen in one jump. You're not going to be that leaping frog. Success, overnight success usually takes 10 years. $1 million businesses usually take a few that fail. Even Elon Musk, even Richard Branson, they almost went bankrupt quite a few times. Elon Musk slept on their friends' couches after he already built PayPal and invested all of his money that he made from PayPal into Tesla and into SpaceX. So he was broke while having all this, business history behind him. And what I'm trying to say is, again, success is not that straight journey. And it's not from zero to hero. It's not that you are either a failure and nobody or a genius and there is no good places in between. Just, I guess, don't ever think that there is only one way for you to be happy, for you to be successful. And if you haven't made $10 million or became a billionaire, then your life hasn't quite worked out. There are a lot of good places in between where people who are not on display all the time live quite happily and well off. Do not basically be all or nothing. There is a little bit better. Do not think you're broken, because you're not, and you can do anything in life as long as you commit with daily actions, with consistent work to whatever goal you have. And you're not a leaping frog. You're probably more like a turtle, taking small steps every day towards your goal, and that's how you reach your top of the mountain. So that's it, guys, for today. All about different kinds of, or 3 particular kinds of fixed mindset that very often prevent all of us in some form or the other, in some area of our life or the other, from getting better, from growing, and from reaching our top of the mountain and making progress and creating the life that we want to live personally. So let me know what you think about this episode, what kind of mindset you've experienced or experiencing right now in some area of your life. And maybe you need, second opinion. Maybe you want my advice. I'll be happy to give you my opinion and my advice and help you to overcome that fixed mindset and get more into growth mindset that will help you to become the person you want to become, to live the life you want to live, to have the things that you want to have. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you again for tuning in. Appreciate all of you. We have 4 more episodes to go. And stay tuned tomorrow. By the way, tomorrow is going to be a really cool episode about all these small things, like why you don't necessarily want to drink decaf coffee and why you shouldn't be drinking caffeine after 3 p.m. And a lot of interesting small things that you might not be aware of. You do, but they do influence your life in a big way, especially if you do them every single day. So stay tuned tomorrow, and till next time, as usual, eat better daily.